Here we go, y'all. Nhtlm. I'm Narc say they love me, y'all. Listen to this. Listen to this question here. I asked Google a question today because something came over me. You know, I'm always, searching for content, trying to elevate myself, my mind. Because, if I don't keep educating myself about this disorder, and I don't keep resorting back to my experiences in order to bring everything to you, then I'll just be spitting out the same information, regurgitating the same information over and over again. And I'm one of those kind of people to where I have to grow, like I have to elevate. I have to next level myself, okay? I have to be the best at whatever I do, all right? I'm not saying I'm the best at this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I have to, I have to stand on my square because I have a lot of people depending on me, all right? So my question today to myself, and I had to answer it myself because it wasn't any information on it on Google, okay? The question was, if a narc has nobody to abuse, right, in their life, nobody to abuse, and they don't have any substances to abuse, because a lot of times they'll turn to substances if they have nobody, a physical body there to abuse. They'll turn to substances and abuse that, okay? Because you guys have to remember, they're constantly running from their true selves, who they really are. So they always have to be on something. They always have to be abusing something. They always have to assert their attention somewhere, on somebody, on something, all the time. They wake up with a motive and agenda to abuse, to not use, but misuse, right? So, what do they abuse? What do they misuse if they don't have anybody? So I got to thinking about this thing, right? Got to thinking about it. Because, like I said, I searched on Google. Nothing's there. The only thing that they have there is that, alcoholism and substance abuse is comorbid, to narcissism, which we already know that, right? If you don't know that, okay, addiction and narcissism is hand in hand. Why? Because they have to have something to abuse. But what if they don't have anything to abuse? Who do they abuse? Here's the answer. God gave it to me. God showed me. I put it in perspective. God showed me. Say, they abuse themselves. They abuse themselves. They don't take care of themselves. No, they don't. They don't take care of themselves, okay? That's why they make you an extension of them. When you leave them, they can no longer abuse you. But you take on their traits and mannerisms when you leave them. A lot of times you guys are thinking that they rode off in the sunset with the new supply. Yeah, they probably did ride off in the sunset, but it wasn't a happy ride. It wasn't a ride to where they felt happiness, to where they felt content, secure. It wasn't anything like that. No, they just run along and they just keep dumping trash on everybody. Everybody and everything that's willing to tolerate that mess, that foolishness, they dump all that trash on them. And a lot of times they miscalculate the way that people perceive them. They miscalculated. That's why they have to come back and make things right with you. They have to try to come back and make things right with you. And it's not because they genuinely want to move on and have anything, of value with you. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's just to keep from abusing themselves. They rather abuse something else or someone else. Let me tell you one thing about addiction. Common sense, y'all. Let's just talk about addiction. Because a lot of the addictions that they have to substances is because they don't have people to abuse, okay? They don't have people readily there available at their fingertips that they can abuse. So they resort to substance abuse. But let me tell you, this is the thing about substances. You can ingest your alcohol, You can smoke your marijuana. You can shoot up your heroin, whatever it is that they like to do, that they're so addicted to, because they, keep in mind, they just running from themselves. But over time, after you put so much in that body, in that temple of yours, not you, I'm talking about the narc. Over time, after they put so much in that temple of theirs, the substance no longer has an effect on them. It's kind of like you, when you get fed up with them and you start to go gray rock, you start to limit your reactions. You start to have no reaction to whatever they're doing, whatever they're saying, and you go nonchalant on them. Then they realize they can't get a reaction out of you. They can't trigger you. The tolerance in their temple, it goes up, it shoots up. It shoots up. Right? They're no longer affected by that substance that they put in their body. Alcohol no longer effective. Keep ingesting it, keep drinking it. Heroin, keep shooting it. The more you shoot it, the more you're no longer you have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and you have to put it in your body at very, very large amounts. And this is bringing me to a place to where, oh, that's how they self-destruct. Yeah, that's how they self-destruct. Now, if they have a pet, they can abuse that. A dog, a cat, or something like that. But what's the fun in abusing that? The dog can't talk back. The cat can't talk back. They like to look at the reaction. This is what gives them fuel. Even if it's a bad reaction, even if it's something that they don't necessarily agree with, they still gonna get fuel off of it. It gives them a natural high. It brings them a high. So what happens when everybody counsels them? They start to abuse self. That's what they do. They start to abuse self. It's no article on what I'm telling you. It's no article on Google. I didn't read anything. I'm telling you what the good Lord has showed me. This is what the good Lord has showed me here. They abuse self. All right? They will always abuse self. The older they get, the more people that are going to get turned on to the games. More people are going to get fed up. More people done had enough. More people are not willing to stand there and tolerate their foolishness. These people abuse themselves. If they abuse themselves, then what extreme will they go to keep you around just so they can abuse you? Here we go. Let's talk. Here we go. Let's go deep now. What extreme will they go to keep you around? They want to keep you around, but then they turn around and contradict that because they want to abuse you. So that's not going to keep you around. That's going to kick you out the door. It's going to get rid of you. Anybody that's being abused is going to go out the door. You can take a dog and abuse him. And once you abuse him so much, guess what the dog going to had enough? Yeah, the dog going to go out the door. They abuse themselves. How can you move forward with somebody that's willing to abuse themselves? How can you do that? Why would you want to do that? Because before they abuse themselves, if you stick around, they're going to abuse you. So again, my question was, if they have nothing left to abuse, no other people in sight, no pet in sight, no liquor, no marijuana, no substance to abuse, who do they abuse? Who do they take their anger and frustration out on? Themselves. They have to abuse something. Ain't that crazy? They have to abuse something, whether it be themselves or not. Somebody that's around, they have to abuse something all the time, every day, every single day. They wake up looking to abuse and misuse something. Tell them narcs hate they love me. You can take this check right here to the bank and cash it. Because I done got to the bottom of this. The good Lord done brought this to me and showed me. Yeah, the good Lord done brought this to me and showed me. They're gonna abuse something at the end of the day. Their last resort is to abuse themselves. But as long as people stay there and enable them, fly for them, what we call flying monkeys, they gonna fly anyway. They even abuse these folks. They abuse all these folks. These folks may not have. Now, one thing about the flying monkeys and enablers, they have years and years. 9 times out of 10, they have years and years of history with the narc. So they already know how the narc rolls. But they don't know that this is a narc. They don't know that they're in the middle of some kind of psychological, sick, demonic game. They don't know that. They just play their part. Because at the end of the day, the narc will punish them too. The narc will cut them off too. Go back to my video that said the flying monkeys and enablers, they don't trust them either. They don't trust them either. And you guys have to remember, the flying monkeys and enablers, they have been conditioned and groomed along the way. Okay? The harem did not just come about with you. It did not just, it didn't just fall out the sky. It has always been there, even when they were children. So who do they abuse? Say it with me. Who do they abuse? Themselves. If it's nobody else left to abuse, if it's no substances on the table, if it's no anything, any drugs, because they're going to resort to drugs and alcohol and stuff like that if you're not around. But what happens when we remove those things? They abuse themselves. So that would explain exactly how they self-destruct. They just feed into their human nature. Yeah, they can't take accountability for their actions. They're not going to say, well, I could have done this better. I could have did this. I could have, met you halfway. They're not going to do any of that. Yeah, according to them, everything is your fault. It's everybody's fault but theirs. I'm narcs hate they love me. That's the answer. That is the answer. I'm telling you what the answer is. They abuse themselves. So don't be the punching bag, the emotional punching bag, the physical punching bag. Let them abuse themselves. They ain't good for nobody else, no way. All I know, I don't know about you, but all I know is they are beneath me. That's all I know. And you better believe I'm going to stand on what I know. You better believe it like Jesus. I'm going to stand on what I know. I'd rather them abuse themselves and self-destruct rather come over here to me and abuse me. Affect my will and my purpose. They abuse self. Let them go. Let them go. Because if you stay, they're going to abuse you. And it's going to hurt. If you leave, they're going to abuse something else or somebody else. But if you leave, it's going to still hurt. Pick your poison. Pick your poison. If you stay, it's going to hurt a whole lot worse. Versus if you decide to leave. Either way, though, it's gonna hurt. But I'd rather live my life knowing that I'm not being abused and misused And see, all of it is going to yield the same results. Same results. They're still going to self-destruct. Doesn't matter if anybody is there or not. The person that they're abusing is look now. Look. You can't fill an empty void. I don't care how much you how much you abuse, how much you misuse, you'll never be happy. Because happiness starts with self. You don't look to anybody else to make you happy. You don't look to anybody to complete you. All of that stuff starts with self. So at the end of the day, I'd rather keep myself out of that crossfire and live me a good, healthy, happy lifestyle instead of staying and get ran over, stomped on, stepped over. And then when they done stepping over me and you misusing me, they just throw me out the door as if I didn't matter. No matter what I did for them, no matter how much I looked out for them, how much I did anything, it doesn't even matter. They have to abuse something at all times. So don't be the punching bag that they sit there and they talk to you any kind of way. You have to sit there and shut up and take it and don't say nothing. No. No. Let them self-destruct. Let them destroy themselves. Everywhere they go, they leave a path of destruction. And I ain't telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I lived. I ain't telling you nothing that somebody else told me on YouTube and I came over here to tell you. No. I'm telling you what I know. I'm Narc Say They Love Me. The link will be in the video. Not the link. The email will be in the video description if you want a one-on-one, if you want to talk to me, anything. The email will be in the video description. And I always leave you with peace, love, light, and power. All right? I love y'all. All right? You take care of yourself. Don't forget who you are. Yeah, you the GOAT. You the greatest of all time, baby. You just like me. Yeah, we just alike. If you on my channel and you following me and you subscribe to me, and if you new here, welcome. Welcome to Narc Say They Love Me. I'm the #1 source for narc snitching. I tell you everything you need to know. All right? Peace, love, and light, and I leave you with power. Pow. Love you.